How's it going? This is Jeff with Final Boss. We are going to talk about adjectives and adverbs. This is a big subject, so I will definitely not cover all of the elements of when and how to use adjectives and adverbs in this video. But I do want to touch on a few of the challenges that a lot of writers encounter. The first thing is a lot of writers, at least that I read, will generally overuse them. A lot of this is because when I am getting edits to read for other people on my channel and stuff like that, and I'm doing edits, I'm usually editing first drafts. And this is one of the things that when you're rushing through a first draft, it's okay to add an extra adjective, to add an extra adverb, just to kind of get it on paper and move along. But this is something in your second and third drafts, one of the things you will be looking to do as you revise is to convert verb adjectives into a stronger verb. So one of the best examples will be okay, I can probably look at the page I'm working on right now, but like said loudly. Said loudly. To say yelled. And one of your goals as a writer, and this goes the same for adjectives, just as much as adverbs, is you're looking to strengthen the base clause of your sentence. The base clause of your sentence is the subject verb core of the sentence, unless you're doing something very intentional, which most of the time in our first drafts we're not. Like the kind of the intentional, use of sentence structure to build tension and stuff like that at the sentence level is not generally happening in an early draft. So your normal goals in your early drafts, draft 1, 2, and 3, will be to say, okay, how do I combine adjectives to make a stronger verb? Another thing is, a lot of times you do need to keep them, but usually you're just thinking about it in terms of a conversion. One of the reasons that you want to generally reduce adjectives and adverbs is that every time you are stopping the reader to modify something already said or putting a word on hold to modify the next one, because that's what the modifiers like that do, right? Is you saying talked quickly. You could say blabbered or whatever. That's probably that worst choice, but like talked loudly, for example. So we get that this person is saying something. The next word over, we have to go back as the reader and say, oh, recontextualize the dialogue. That's another reason where when it comes to like said loudly, said angrily, those types of things are usually the first adjectives to remove, because if you need a modifier to tell me the context of the dialogue, that probably means that the dialogue needs revision as much as the modifier. One of some in modern fiction, people can sometimes type in all caps and make it feel like it's yelling because that's such a convention now in the dialogue. Or said insultingly. You can just write a good insult. So those are some really helpful ways to say, okay, if it's in dialogue, or if it's a dialogue modifier or dialogue tag, those are generally some adjectives that can usually go bye-bye. Lastly is adjectives within dialogue. I'm very, very good at my job. Usually you're going to be cutting varies from your prose, but if it establishes character, you can leave those adjectives in. It's not a hard and fast rule about cutting adjectives, cutting adverbs, but you'll find that in early drafts, there's just a lot of extra fluff that you put in there, and adjectives and adverbs generally form a lot of that fluff that's getting you further away from really nice, crisp prose. So the last thing I think to think about is just making your prose crisp, and these adjectives dilute the action. They'll dilute the effectiveness of a sentence. So yes, you can still leave some adjectives and adverbs in your writing, but overall you're looking to trim them down just to make sure that your prose is reading fast, it's reading efficiently, and it's keeping the reader going from page to page. Good luck. I know this was not comprehensive, but feel free to ask me more questions on stream or on Discord. See you all around. Bye-bye.